it essential for an organization? What is demand forecasting, and why is it essential from an organization's perspective? Yes. Some of you are saying that you did demand forecasting earlier. What is demand forecasting?
डिमांड फोरकास्टिंग होती है कि हम आगे के साल के अंदाजा लगाते हैं कि इतनी डिमांड आएगी.
Okay. Yes. Right. So why is it essential? Why do you think it is essential?
तो ये एसेंशियल इसलिए होती है कि पता चल जाता है कि कितनी मतलब हमारी सेल्स कितनी होगी और रेवेन्यू कितना जनरेट होगा आगे आने वाले सालों में.
Okay.
तो ये इसलिए एसेंशियल होती है.
Okay. Anyone else who would like to add as to what is demand forecasting?
Sir, so that we have optimum utilization of all the things from raw materials for the final production, so that the waste of the product should be minimum and profit will be maximum.
Okay. So if you know the forecast for your next season or for the next sales season, you will be able to optimally utilize your resources. Okay. Anything else? See, this concept of demand forecasting in supply chain, particularly from the supply chain point of view, it is very essential because all the other activities in the supply chain will be altered or will be focused based on the demand forecast. See, demand forecasting actually means what will be the demand for your product in the next sales season. Already your product is being sold in the market, or even if you are a new person, completely new product you are introducing into the market, you will actually know what will be the demand for your product if you are introducing a totally new product into the market. You would be interested to know what will be the demand for it. See, only if you know what is the demand for that, how many customers will actually buy, if you are able to estimate that, only then you can actually mold or you can target your production activities, and based on your production activities you can also start procuring raw materials or bringing raw materials. So all the nodes or all the intermediaries in the supply chain, their activities are based on what is the demand for your product. Are you all listening? Yes or no? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in other, what is demand actually? What is demand? Demand forecasting. See, demand forecasting is a method wherein you will try to find out how many customers will buy your product, or what will be the targeted sales for your product in the next sales season. That next sales season can be next day, it can be next week, it can be next month, or it can be next year. So whatever is the sales period that you are taking into consideration in your organization, for which your production activities are actually targeted towards, that period, what will be the sales, if you want to know, we will use this concept called as demand forecasting. So how do you forecast? Forecast actually is a future value. Forecast means actually it is a future value. So if I know what are my sales earlier, I will try to find out, like, till today, if I know what are my sales, what will be my sales tomorrow, or what will be my sales for the next week, I will be able to forecast. If I can forecast, or if I know what will be my sales in the next week, if I am a retail outlet, I can bring all the respected materials or items that I can sell in the next 1 week and store with me. So that is the advantage, or that is one advantage of forecast. Any other advantages that you can think of? Any other advantages that you can think of? Okay, to optimize, yes. Okay. 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 Okay, that's what one of your friend also told in the beginning. Optimum utilization of resources. Agreed. So if you know exactly, you can bring raw materials, exactly you can manufacture, or exactly you can provide the materials that you are trying to sell. See, this forecasting is not only from the manufacturer's point of view. Forecasting is done even for the distributor, even for the retailer. Retailer also has to do forecasting as to how many products customers will buy. So if that is the case, if forecasting is the future value of your sales or future value of your products that customers will buy, how can you forecast? How can you forecast demand, or how can you forecast sales for your product? How can you do it? Any methods for finding the future value? If you know, if you can guess any methods that you can use to forecast. By seeing trends. How do you see trend? Okay, what we can analyze, but how do you analyze? What is the method to analyze that? By seeing the graphs or purchases of the consumer. Okay. Anyone else? Did you discuss or did you know any other forecasting techniques earlier? Have you used any forecasting techniques earlier? All the students in this batch, in this particular class, 26 of you who are there today.
No,
Any forecasting techniques? What
No,
is
sir.
forecasting? What is forecasting? What is forecasting? Demand
Predicting
forecasting.
future sales.
Yeah, we are predicting the future sales. Okay. Financial modeling. Amit wrote financial modeling. You can do financial modeling to find out those trends which one of you were saying, Ankan was saying. See, actually forecasting is predicting or finding out the future value. There are many methods to find out the future value. There are many methods to find out the future value. But one common method that is used to find out future value. See, why in an organization you require to find future value? See, in terms of demand, in terms of sales, you have to find out the future value so that you can accordingly adjust your other activities. That is the reason you find the future value. So there are many methods to find future value, but one commonly used and the easiest method is time series analysis. Time series analysis. Have you heard about time series analysis? You heard? Did not hear? Time series analysis for forecasting. You heard or you did not hear? Give me a second, please. Sorry for that. Have you heard about time series analysis? Yes or no? You did not hear? See, one commonly used method for forecasting, for finding the future values is time series analysis. So in time series analysis, how do we forecast is what we'll be discussing. For demand forecasting also, the widely used method, easiest method is time series analysis. So as the name suggests, in time series analysis, what happens is if I want to find the demand for my product, I should have past data. If I have past data, based on the past data, I will be able to predict the future value. Are you all listening? Am I making some sense?
Yes, sir.
So in time series analysis, you should understand that time series analysis is one concept which is used for forecasting, for finding the future value. So in time series analysis, we should have past data to predict the future value. Only if you have past data or present data, we will be able to predict future value. That is an important condition for time series analysis. And when you have past data or present data, that data should be recorded in chronological order. What is chronological order? What is chronological order? Descending order. Yes. Descending order on the basis of what? Descending order on the basis of
Sales.
Descending order on the basis of time. See, your data should be recorded on the basis of time in a descending order. Like for example, I'm saying one important thing is you should have past data, and that data should be recorded for a period of time. Are you listening? See, if you're not understanding, you should let me know. If you don't understand the basics, there is no point in doing problems. You should understand the basics. You're listening? See, time series analysis is one method used for forecasting. We will also use time series analysis for demand forecasting. So in time series analysis, to apply forecasting techniques, there are certain rules that should be, or there are certain conditions that should be followed. One condition is you should have past data. Okay, that is the first condition. When you have past data or present data, based on that past data, you will be able to predict the future values. Now that past data that you will be having, that data should be recorded in chronological order. Chronological order means like this. Are you all able to see the board? Are you all able to see the board? I have a company, and my company I have the demand for my products. I'm seeing what are the sales of my product from 2010 till 2020. I have the sales data of my products. 2011, 2012, 2013, so on till 2020. I have the sales data. So this is one column. This is my time in years. Are you all seeing? Or can you see time in years? 2020 is at the bottom. Okay, at least first four you can see, right? So from 2010 to 2020, I have my sales data. My sales data is like this. In the year 2010, I was able to sell, let me say, 10,000 products. In thousands, I'm only writing 10. In 2011, I was able to sell 1,200 products. In 2012, I was able to sell only, only 8,000 products. In 2013, I am able to sell 10. So on, it continued. In 2020, I am able to sell 1,500 products. Can you see this? This is my sales data that I am selling every year. The products that I am selling every year. Can you see? Now, I am in 2021. I am in 2021. Let me say 20. Can you see 2021 at the bottom? 2021 at the bottom. And the sales till now are 1,800. Now, if I want to predict what will be my sales in 2022, next year, what will be my sales? Or next year, what is the demand for my product? If I want to find out, I can use time series analysis. Now, if you look at the data here, there are two variables. There is time and there are sales. Yes or no? You have data. You have
Yes,
data in the form of time and in the form of sales. I told you to apply time series. If you want to apply time series, you should have past data. If I want to find out what will be my sales in 2022, I need past data. Do I have past data? I have last 10 years data. Yes or no? So last 10 years data I have, and I have the sales. Now this time I told, if you have past data or present data, that should be noted in chronological order. Chronological order means descending order in terms of time. See, 2010, 11, 12, 13. In that order only it is written. Yes or no? So this is what is chronological order. So 1950, 1951, 52, 53, in that time order only you should write. That is what is chronological order. You got it?
Please, sir, revise one at a time.
Yeah, Ankan, you're asking something?
Kamran.
Kamran, yes,
Kamran,
yes.
sir.
Yeah, you want me to repeat?
Sir, revise कीजिए फिर. Yes, sir. क्योंकि सर ये ट्रेनिंग डिपार्टमेंट से मेरे को कॉल आया था कि मैंने अटेंड नहीं किया था.
Okay. See, we are saying to apply time series analysis or to forecast future demand, you should have past data, and that past data should be noted in chronological order. Chronological order means you should have data noted year after year in descending order. Like see, from 2010 to 11, 12, 13, 14, in this order it should go. Okay. Is it descending order or ascending order?
Ascending order.
So if you have data, past data like this, noted for over a period of time, using this past data, we can predict the future value, whether it is sales or whether it is demand. If you have past data, you can predict the future value. Predicting the future value, when you have time and sales or time and demand, there are many techniques. One important technique is time series analysis. That's what we are learning. Okay. Now, one important rule is, I told you, past data and chronological order. Now, the other important thing when you do demand forecasting using time series analysis is, see whether it is demand forecasting or whether it is any other kind of forecasting, any future value that you want to find out, you cannot find out the future value for a long period of time. Are you all listening? Yes or no? You cannot find out the future value for a long period of time. Why? If I want to find out the sales, in my example, I can find out what will be the future sales for 2022 or at the maximum 2023. I cannot find out the what will be the future sales for 2030. Why I cannot do? Can you tell? Why I cannot do? Yes. See, if you, whatever forecasting technique you use, that forecast that you will find can be found out only for the immediate next period. If I have data till 2021, I can forecast for next 1 year or 2 years at the max, not more than that. I cannot do more than that because you can actually do it, you will get the number, but that forecast number, the future value, you cannot rely on it. It's not accurate. It's not accurate because in these 2 years, there may be many changes like the political party may change, legal, new policies, business policies can come in, customers' traditions and culture can change. And because of these changes, demand can either fall down or go up. Yes or no? You agree? Yes or no? Are you all understanding what I'm trying to tell? Or you all are busy with something else, as you usually do? As you usually do, are you all busy with something else other than the class?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So two things when you apply time series analysis. Two things are, one is you should have past data and present data noted in chronological order. That is the first thing. Second thing is, using time series analysis, if you are trying to forecast, if you are trying to predict the future value, you cannot do it for a long period of time. You can do it over the next immediate period. These are the two important rules in time series analysis for forecasting. Any doubts till now? Do you have any doubt till now?
Sir, we can take a previously year also, sir. अगर मेरे को निकालना हो 1990 89 का
With this data, with time series analysis?
1989, sir.
If you want to take backward sales, you can take down is what you are saying.
Yes, sir.
You cannot do it using time series, madam. You can do it with some other technique.
Okay, sir.
We cannot do time series analysis is only for forecasting. Forecasting is only future value. If you want to find out backdated
If
data,
I want to need a know a future value, sir, so we can use this one.
yes. But only for future value only we'll use this. Okay.
Future value, it means that there is a limitation of there, or there is no any limitation, because we just now we are presenting in the 2021, right,
Yes.
sir? If I want to find what is the future value of 2051,
It's not possible.
that's why I'm asking. There is a limitation of 4 or 5 year future value.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to tell. If you want to find the future value, only for the next immediate future value you can find. If it is till 21 you have data, 22, 23, at the max 23 only. 25,
2 years.
51 also you can find out, but whatever you are finding out is not accurate. It
means that there is an error.
There will be a lot of error. Yes, because see, with my 10 years data, if I try to find out 2051, there is a 30-year gap in between. In this 30-year gap, so many things can change. Your demand may not exactly represent this. So using time series analysis, future value, you can find it only for the immediate next period. If it is 1 year data, immediately next 1 year only. If it is daily data, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, only for the next day only you can predict. You got it? Yes or no? Any doubts? Any other doubts? Okay, this is a little bit of introduction to time series analysis for predicting the future values. Using time series analysis to get the predicted values, we have many methods. Importantly, we'll talk about 3 methods. There is something called as moving average method. There is something called as exponential smoothing method. And there is also something called as least square method. To find the future value using time series analysis, we have different methods. One important method is moving average method. We'll discuss what is moving average method, but before talking about what is moving average method, can you see the sales that I wrote on the board? Can you see the sales? Can you see the sales that I wrote on the board?
Yes, sir.
and I wrote the time. If you look at the sales, the sales are they constant or are they fluctuating?
Sir,
Yes.
These
Yes,
sales
sir.
are these sales are not actually constant year after year, right? They are actually fluctuating.
Yes,
They are
sir.
going up, going down, going up, going down. Now, why do you think that this is time series data? In this data, there are ups and downs. When I put all this in the graph, you may not get a graph like this. If I'm drawing a graph here, can you see? Can you see if I'm drawing the graph here?
Yes, sir.
If I take time on x-axis and sales on y-axis, when I plot all these points, I may get a graph like this. Like say 10, from 10 to 12, 12 to 8, 8 to 10 again. Then again it may go like this, and you may get a graph something like this. It's not a straight line like this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
When you plot this sales value on a graph, it is not a straight line. You have ups and downs in the graph. Now the ups and downs are called as fluctuations in your data. These are all fluctuations in your data. Why do fluctuations occur in your sales? Any reasons? Why do fluctuations occur in your sales?
Sir, change of trends or rules or
because
particular
downfall and
tax
upfall in
situation.
sales.
Okay, see, if this is my time series data, in time series data, fluctuations can occur because of four main reasons. There are four reasons why fluctuations can occur. Those four
Because of
reasons.
downfall and
Yeah, why will the downfall occur, or why will you have an up hype? The fluctuations in your time series data can occur because of these four causes. The four causes, also called as components of time series, they are called as trend. They are also called as seasonal variations. Have you studied this somewhere? They are also called as cyclical variations, and they are called as irregular variations. Can you see the board? Can you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In your sales for the last 10 years, there are some fluctuations. The fluctuations are caused because of these. The fluctuations in your time series data are caused because of these four reasons. The reasons are trend, seasonal variation, cyclical variation, and irregularity. What are these? See, sometimes your sales may increase or sometimes your sales may decrease because of the changes in habits, customs, or tradition of people. Because of change in custom, tradition of people, will buying behavior also change. Yes, you agree or not?
Agree.
Yes, sir.
If in your sales the changes in sales is coming only because of change in tradition or culture of people in the society, then that change is what is called as trend. Okay, you are getting it?
Yes,
The
sir.
change in demand or change in sales of your data for certain period, if it is occurring, if the change is because of the change in customs and traditions of people, if the change in customs of traditions of people is changing, then their buying behavior also change. If that is the reason why there is a change here, then that change is what is called as trend. You got it? Yes or no? You want to give me an example?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
please.
yes or no?
Sir,
Yes,
you,
sir.
Sorry, sir.
I asked you, if you understood what is trend. What is trend?
Yes, sir.
Trend is something which will occur over a long period of time, and that will happen because of change in customs and traditions of people. Then what are seasonal variations? See, sometimes the sales data will change because of seasonal changes also. See, for certain businesses, if it is winter now, lot of demand for woolen clothes. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Similarly, in summer, woolen clothes will not have demand, which means if sometimes for woolen clothes in winter the sale of woolen clothes increases. In summer it comes down. Can you see this curve here, going up and coming down in 1 year only because of season? Winter woolen clothes demand is increasing, summer it is coming down. Now that if the changes in your sales increasing and coming down, if it is because of seasons in a year, then it is called as seasonal variation. You understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then you have cyclical variations. See, variations in the data, variations in your time series data, variations in your sales, ups and downs in your sales can also occur because of business cycles. What is a business cycle? What is a business cycle?
Sir, business cycles from converting a raw material to finished goods till it goods is product is known as business cycle.
No. Did you get what is seasonal change? Anyone has any doubt here? No? Look at here.
Sir,
Irregular
seasonal changes mean that the season, the material which are sir buy more. According to winter, we buy a sweater, sir.
Yes.
Seasonal change,
Yeah,
sir.
that is what is seasonal change.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before
According to
cyclical,
sir, also we can say in there is a marriage. We can say a lagan, sir. On that is also a seasonal change,
yeah, that is
because
also
on that
seasonal.
time
Yeah.
a parlor or a beautician care was a very in a high demand.
Right.
So that was also is a seasonal change, sir.
It is also seasonal change. Even festivals, during festival sales of certain
During the
products will
festival,
increase.
sir, also.
Yes, even that is also a seasonal change, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So cyclical changes will occur because of business cycles. I'll tell you what is business cycle. Look at the last one. What is the last kind of variation? What is the last one? The last
Irregular.
irregular variations or irregular changes in the data will occur because of natural calamities. See, because of if there is a sudden flood, or if there is a sudden fire accident, or if it is something like the pandemic now, if it is like COVID, there is a demand for certain products. Certain products demand came down. So because of certain natural changes also, demand for certain products may increase and decrease. If the change is because of certain natural calamities, then it is an irregular variation. You got this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look at the last one, the cyclical variation. It can occur because of business cycle. See, basically business cycle is this.
Growth and decline of sales.
Yeah, is it only growth and decline of sales or growth and decline of business? I'm talking about a business. Have you seen this? See, it is necessary that you all should know certain important terms as management students. Have you seen this graph anywhere earlier?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. In the case of boom and recession.
Yeah, in case of boom and recession, what are the 4 stages of that? That is what is a business cycle. What are the 4 stages? See, your company may start here. After starting, it can grow. It can grow, yes or no? Are you all see? You are able to see this curve on the board?
Yes, sir.
Your company can grow. Sometimes it can come down. Your profits may start coming down. You can get into losses. So that stage is what is called as recession. Growth, recession. Below this point, if you come down, it is called as depression. After this point, after depression, if you are again improving, it is called as what?
Recovery.
Growth, recession, depression. What is the last one? Recovery. This is one complete business.
Sir, growth, sir.
Yes. You want me to repeat something?
सर रिकवरी के बाद सर ग्रोथ होगा सर ना
Recovering again, if it comes here, again the cycle will follow. Again it will grow,
Yes,
again recession, again depression, again recovery. So in one business cycle, these are the 4 stages. So you can start your business, it will grow, then it may come down. I'll give you an example. For example, we all know what is Titan. Titan watches. Titan.
Yes, sir.
We all know Titan. Titan is famous for what?
Watches.
Titan watches. We all know Tata for Titan watches. Yes or no? Titan brand for Titan watches.
yes
If there are some girls, don't say jewelry, please. Tanishq. So Titan watches, we all know Titan watches. Yes or no? I'm trying to explain the business cycle of Titan. Okay. Are you listening? Yes, no? Tell me something. If you're not listening, it is lost for you.
There is also a fast track, sir.
There is also fast track, but I'm talking about Titan, madam.
Yes, sir.
Titan, now if you look at the trend, what kind of watches are students wearing, or what kind of watches are teenagers wearing? They are all moving towards what? We are all moving towards what kind of watches?
Smart watches or digital.
We are all moving towards smart watches or digital watches. Did Titan introduce a smartwatch or a digital watch in the market?
No.
No, sir.
But is Titan closing up? Now the trend is anywhere you see online, everyone is buying smartwatches for so many things. So many things they can do in a smartwatch, yes or no? Now if you look at Titan's business, Titan when it started its watch manufacturing, did it grow? Did it grow? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It grew. Now with the invention of, forget about the other brands. Now with the concept of smartwatches, people are buying more of smartwatches than Titan watches. You agree with my statement or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
People are buying more of smartwatches rather than buying an analog watch with all those needles. Yes or no? So what should happen to Titan watch sales? Should it come down or should it go up? Still grow? Because of the introduction of smartwatches, is Titan watch sales coming down? Coming down? Yes or no? Please let me know, sir. Madam?
Yes, sir.
Which means it is going into the recession. It did not completely get into losses, but it is slowly coming into recession. People are stopping to buy analog watches. They are only buying digital or smart watches. So it comes into recession. Till what point it will come to recession? Whatever you invested in watches, if you are coming to that point again down, then you are going into recession. If you don't take any corrective action here, you will get into losses. That is, getting into losses is what is completely below what you invested. For example, I started my business with 10,000 rupees. I grew to 1 lakh rupees. Now people start slowly stopping to buy my watches. My profits are coming down. So 1 lakh was my profits. Slowly it became 90,000. It is becoming 80,000. It can come to 10,000. My starting point. Are you all listening? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If you go below 10,000, it is depression. You are completely into losses. So even after depression also, if Titan is getting into smartwatches, then again it can recover. People will start buying Titan smartwatches also. Yes or no? Are you all listening? No. There are 30
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There are 30 students in the batch only. I am shouting on this side, asking yes or no. Even yes or no also you are not saying.
My mic was not.
It is not at all right. So this is a business cycle. See, in what stage your business, in what stage of your business cycle will also affect your data, your sales and demand. If you are in the growth stage, it will be high demand. If you are in recession stage, your demand will be less. Depression stage, your demand is less. But if you are recovering again, your demand will be more. You understood this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So these are the 4 stages of business cycle and the 4 reasons for fluctuations in your time series data. Fluctuations can occur because of culture and tradition. Because of change in culture and tradition, if there are fluctuations in your data, it is called as trend. If the fluctuations in your data is occurring because of seasonal changes or festivals or because of certain important occasion, then that kind of variations in your time series data is called as seasonal change. If the change in your demand is occurring because of your business cycle, if you are in the growth stage or recession stage or depression stage or recovery stage, according to that also your demand will change. If the demand is changing because of that, then it is called as cyclical change. And the demand can also change because of irregularities, because of certain climatical or natural phenomena. So if the demand is changing because of certain natural calamities, then such kind of changes are called as irregular changes. Okay, you understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If you understood, why are we discussing that here? It is because when you are forecasting, when you are calculating the future value using time series analysis, if you don't take all those things into consideration, you will end up doing a wrong forecast. You are understanding? Yes or no? If you don't take all those 4 reasons and try to forecast, you will end up doing a wrong forecast. Okay, let me tell you how do you do a forecast. See, using time series data, when I say time series, whenever I'm saying time series data, I mean that there is time on one side and the demand for sales data on the other side. Using time series data, how can we forecast for the next year is, we have 2 methods, importantly 2 methods we'll be discussing. One is moving average method and the other one is exponential smoothing method. Now, how do we do this? I'll give you some data I want you to take down and start working with me. There is a sales data there is demand data of a company. Take this question. I want all of you to take this question. Start working. This is just not a theory class wherein I will be barking on the other side. You will just do your own work. I need all of you to work. I'm going to randomly pick up students and ask you what is the answer. What are you doing? Take down the question. The following is the following is the demand data. Are you all taking down? Yes or no? Are you all taking down? You have to answer.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Are you all taking down? I'm going to randomly pick up students from this batch now. I'm going to randomly pick up students and ask what are you doing and share your screen. The following is the demand data of the company for 5 years. The following is the demand data of a company for 5 years. Data is given from 1991. Time is given from 1991, 1992, 1993, 1994, and 1995. The demand for the products of this company, the demand for this company for the year 1991, the demand is 8,000 products, right? Only 8. The demand for the year 1992 is 9,000 products. The demand for the year 1993 is again 8,000 products. For the year 1994 is 9,000 products. And for the year 1995 is 16,000 products. Did you get? Yes or no? Did you take the data?
Yes, sir.
So time is given, demand for 5 years is given. You are supposed to calculate what will be the demand for this company for the year 1996. What will be the demand for this company in the year 1996? This demand is given in thousands. Just take numbers, it is given in thousands. How do you do? I am repeating the question again. The demand data for 5 years of a company is given as this table, 91 to 95. Using this data, you are supposed to calculate what will be the demand, or you are supposed to forecast what will be the demand for this company in the year 1996. Tell me, how will you do? How will you do? There are two methods to forecast in time series analysis. One is moving average method. Moving average. And the other one is exponential smoothing. Have you heard these methods earlier?
No, sir.
Have you exponential smoothing? So let me talk about the first method. So using moving average method, how do you find the demand for the year 1996? See, what we will do is, whatever we have demand here is the original data, original observation, original. So for this data, I want the forecast for, the year 1996. So if I'm applying moving average method, moving average, as the name suggests, you have to calculate average. Of what should you calculate average? See, if I'm saying you have to do moving average for two time periods. If I'm saying moving average time period is 2, you have to take the average of these two. If you take the average of the first two time periods, this is time period 1, time period 2. If I take the average of 2, if I'm taking moving average time period is 2, you should take average of 2. So if I'm taking the first 2 digits average, what is the average? 9 plus 18 is what? 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 by 2 is what? 8 point? Is it 8.5? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that 8.5, what you get, it is considered to be the forecast for the third year for this data. So this 8.5, you can put it here directly. In the third year, can you see? 93, I'm putting 8.5.
Yes, sir.
See, this same process we follow for the entire data in the data set. So for the first 2 years, I finished. Then you have to take for the next 2 years. It should be 9 and 8 again. 9 and 8, what is the average again? Again, it should be
8.5.
9 plus 8 by 2 is again 8.5. Then again you have to do for the next 2. Again it is 8.5. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now for the last one, it should be the average between 9 plus 16 by 2. So 9 plus 16 is 25. 25 by 2 is what?
12.5.
So whatever you got here, the 12.5 is considered to be the forecast for 1996. You got it or not? Can you see? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we do, how we predict the future value using moving average method, where the time period for calculating the moving average is 2. So what you have to do is, first to do, if I'm saying time period in moving average is 2, then for every 2 numbers you have to do average. And then what you have to be careful is, when you are finding the average of these 2 numbers, the result you have to put it in the third digit here in this column. So the next 2 numbers result will be here. Next 2 numbers result will be here. Next 2 numbers result will be here. You got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if you follow this process, whatever last number you get here, that is the forecast for the year 1996. This is how we calculate the forecast using moving average method. Any doubts? Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Sir, repeat again.
Exponential.
I'll tell you.
Sir, one more. Repeat again.
If you have data like this, if I'm saying do the moving average and find the forecast, and if the moving average period, you should ask what is the moving average time period. It is also called as periodicity. I'm saying 2, which means every 2 numbers you have to average. So for the year 1991, I have demand is 8. For the year 1992, demand is 9. I have to take the average of these 2 numbers. 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 by 2. Average of 2 numbers is by 2. So 17 by 2 is 8.5. So that 8.5 what you get, you have to put it in the third year in this column. So 8.5 I put it here, 93. Then the next two, after finishing these 2, the next 2 you should take average. Again 9 and 8. 9 and 8, the average is again 8.5. I have to put it at 94. Then third time I have to take the average of the next 2 numbers. So 8, 9, again it is 8.5. I have to put it at 95. The last cycle, I have to do it for 9 and 16, average. So 9 plus 16 is 25, 25 by 2 is 12.5, which will come next to it. So whatever you got here, last value, after averaging the last 2 digits, that last value is the forecast for the year 96. Now you got it?
Yeah, sir, I got it.
How many of you did not do? You are supposed to do it. How many of you did not do? I want you all understood the concept. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, if you understood the concept, what is your interpretation? What is your answer here? I asked you what is the forecast for the year 1996. What is your interpretation?
12.5, sir.
You will say that the demand for this particular company in the year 1996 is 12.5. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now take down one more problem.
Sir, can you explain it again, sir?
सर लेकिन
Again, what were
12.5
you doing
सर
till now
आया
again?
कैसे है? इसको एक बार क्लियर कर दो.
What is it? What is it,
Sir.
Nishita?
12.5 आया कैसे है?
16 और 9 को ऐड किए सर और 2 से डिवाइड किए हैं.
16 और सर एक बार स्क्रीन शेयर कीजिए सर.
You want me to? I did not get you.
16 और 9 को ऐड किए हैं,
Yeah,
राइट?
25.
और 1996 का अगर निकालना हो तो 16 में 9 कैसे क्लियर है कि 9 ही हम ऐड करेंगे? 10 भी तो हो सकता है.
Ma'am, I think you are not following from the beginning.
यस सर, आई एम फॉलोइंग सर. 8 9 8 आंसर दिया है तो कोई जरूरी है सर कि 8 9 8 9 ही होगा?
Yeah, because I told you do moving average for 2 periods. If I ask
Okay,
you to do
sir.
moving average for 3 periods, then
तो
you do 8 plus 9
9
plus 8 divided by 3.
ओके.
I told you to
मेरे
do
को
moving
clear है.
average for 2. I can ask you to do moving average for 3. I can ask you to do moving average for 4.
सर जो 8 9 आप वैल्यू रखे हो सर, वहाँ पे 10 भी तो वैल्यू हो सकता है, मैं ये पूछ रही हूँ.
Here. Here.
यस सर, नीचे में सर 16 के नीचे में.
No,
Yes,
16
sir.
this is what you are supposed to find out now. For 19 to find out what will be the
सर 16 जहाँ 9 है वहाँ पे तो सर 10 लिख सकते हैं ना 94 में. यस सर.
Here I gave you the data as 9. If your demand is 10,
अच्छा,
then it will be
WhatsApp
10. If it is 10,
उसके बाद दोनों को ऐड करके फिर डिवाइड कर देना होगा.
yeah, 16 plus 10 is 26. 26 divided by 2 will give you 30. That
Yes, sir.
is your forecast for 1996.
यस सर, ये क्लियर हो गया. थैंक यू सर.
Only because I gave 2, you will do it for 2. If I give you 3, moving average is 3. Then you should take 3 numbers and do average.
सर 1997 का निकलना हो तो
1997 it is not possible to see moving average with 2. That's what I told you. Immediate next.
सर
Yes.
ओके
सर
सर
अगर 3 को निकालना हो तो 3 से डिवाइड करना होगा या फिर 2 से ही?
What is it? If you want to do it for
अगर 3 नंबर को निकालना होगा
these three first three numbers.
यस सर, तो 3 से डिवाइड करेंगे या 2 से?
3 average no 3.
ओके सर,
You are adding 3 numbers divided by 3. If you are adding 4 numbers divided by
ओके
4.
सर.
Okay. See, the disadvantage of moving average is you can only find it for the next time. If you have data till 1996, you can do it only for 1997. Are you understanding?
सर एक क्वेश्चन है सर, मैं आज सर
What is it, madam?
सर जैसे आप बोले कि 4 से अगर 4 डिजिट लेते हैं तो 4 से डिवाइड करेंगे सर.
Yes,
तो
yes.
अगर हम ये पांचों डिजिट लेके अगर डिवाइड करते सर तो 12.5 आएगा.
You are taking all the 5.
यस सर.
You cannot directly say 12.5, madam. You take all the 5, whatever you get, you have to put it here.
तो फिर सर वैल्यू तो चेंज हो जाएगी 1996 की.
Here, if you are taking 5 years moving average, you cannot take 5 years moving average if your data is only 5. If you have 100 years data, then you can take 5.
ओके सर.
Based on your data set only, your moving average time interval will change.
If I will calculate with the 5 digits, sir,
Yes.
so according to that, my 1996 value will be changed.
You should not do it 5, I'm saying, madam.
Okay. So, sir, if I will calculate with the 4 digit.
Okay. You should not do it 4 also. You should not do it 3 also because of the size of the data.
Sir, how can we know that the in which size we can calculate?
I will tell you.
Because you are saying in the 100 we can calculate with the 5.
Yeah, I will tell you. What you can do
Yes,
is,
sir.
for example, if I have 1991, in 1 year there are 4 quarters, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4.
Yes, sir.
If I have sales data of 1991, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, then 1992, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, you know for 1 year there are 4 quarters, then your moving average should be, 4. You got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you know in your data there are seasonal variations. Every 5 months there is a season change.
Yes,
First
sir.
5 months it is winter, next 5 months it is summer. If you know that, then
Yes,
your
sir.
moving average and your data will be like that. Your data will be like that. For first 5
Yes,
months you
sir.
have one data, second 5 months it will be one data. Year on year it will be. Then if there are the seasonal variations, then you have to take that season. What is the season time? That will be 5. That's how you have to take 5. You have to calculate in case if there are seasonal variations, what is the seasonal variation effect size? What is the season size? That should be your moving average time period. That is how you decide. For now,
According to seasonal base, right, sir?
that's all. All that will be decided on the basis of your data. How is your data looking? How is your data looking? And in your data, what variations are there? There are seasonal variations. You should find out that seasonal variation. You told winter, some clothes are increasing, some products are increasing, some are coming down. That increasing and coming down, how much time is it taking? That you should know first. If you know that first, then you can decide how many numbers you have to average. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
How do you know that? I'll tell you. I'll tell you in the next class. We can use Excel to find out that.
Okay, sir.
Any other doubts, others? You got the moving average concept?
4000 बोला ना? हाँ 4000 बोला ना? Hello.
Please say yes or no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before discussing exponential distribution or exponential smoothing, solve one more problem. The demand data of an organization is given for 5 months. Are you all writing? I want you to take it up. The demand data of a company is given for 5 months. I'm not going to solve this on the board.
सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है क्या?
Calculate the demand for the company for the 6th month.
4000 बोला ना?
Calculate the demand for the company for the 6th month. Okay. Are you all getting it?
No, sir. Repeat again. One more.
The demand of a company's product is given for 6 months. The demand is given for 6 months. Calculate the demand for the 7th month. Data is like this. In the month of June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. For 6 months, they gave the data. In the month of June, the demand is 13. In the month of July, the demand is 17. In the month of August, the demand is 19. In the month of September, the demand is 23. In the month of October, the demand is 24. How much did you take? Can you please repeat the question? This is demand, this is time. Anyone who is taking the question, can you repeat the question? Repeat it fast, please.
Demand of company product given for 6 months.
Sir, we have to find out in November.
No, it is given for 6 months. This is only 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes or no? You are supposed to find out what is the demand for this company for the month of December 2021, this year. Till November, you have the demand for the products. Calculate what is the demand for December and tell me. Using moving average method, and the moving average time is 2. Again, it is 2. Did you get the question? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How many of you are solving this using Excel? How many of you are solving this using Excel? Ajay Kumar, are you there? Ajay Kumar? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you solving this problem that we are doing now?
Actually, sir, I was not focusing in class, sir.
You are not focusing on class. Then what were you doing, my dear?
Sir, due to network issue, my connection was not good.
Then why don't you log off rather than being like this?
Sorry, sir.
Ramkant Kumar, are you there?
Yes, sir. I am 23. My answer.
For the month of December, according to moving average, the forecast is 23.
23.5.
46 by 2, 23.
So directly you did these two.
Yes, sir. 23.
It is easy.
Yes, sir.
Instead of doing this, and then going, directly you finished with these two.
Yes, sir.
So you did the total of these 46. 46 divided by 2 is 23. So that is the forecast. For
Yes, sir.
Okay, agreed.
Yes, sir. It is 23. It's increasing. Increasing trend.
So for the month of December, the forecast should be 23. You got it? Okay, let me explain what is exponential smoothing. There is also another method to calculate forecast other than moving average, which is exponential smoothing. The exponential smoothing, what we do is, can you please give me the data of the previous sum that we did? You have time and you have demand. Can you give me the data? Someone of you. It is for the year 1991, 1992, 1993, 1994, and 1995. We are supposed to calculate for 1996. What is the data? Demand data? 8, 9, 8, 9, 16. Is it so?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Using exponential smoothing, in moving average, what we are doing is we are taking the average either for 2 numbers or 3 numbers or 4 numbers based on the data. Okay. In the question I gave you 2, so we directly did the average for 2. So the work is easy. See, in exponential distribution, what we do is, in exponential distribution, we actually apply weighted average, just not simply average. In exponential distribution, we will use weighted average. Are you all listening? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Do
Yes,
you all
sir.
know the concept of weighted average? Yes or no? Do you know what is the concept of weighted average? Tell me quickly, yes or no. If it
Yes,
is
sir. We
yes,
have studied but forget.
okay. So to apply exponential smoothing to this data, we need two numbers. Like how for moving average, what we need for moving average, to apply moving average, what is the requirement? Tell me what is the requirement for applying moving average to get the forecast? What is the requirement? You should know for how much time you should calculate the moving average. Whether it is 2, 3, 4 or 5, that you should know. Yes or no? For applying moving average, you should know what is the moving average time period, also called as periodicity. So applying exponential smoothing, it is not one number, you should know two numbers. To apply the exponential smoothing, we have a concept called as smoothing constant and damping constant. Are you listening?
क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा है
We have something called as
ये जीएस कॉलम
SMOOTHING, smoothing constant. And we have something called as damping, DAMPING, damping constant. We need these two numbers to apply exponential smoothing. Now the value of smoothing constant will always lie between 0 and 1. Are you listening? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
To apply exponential smoothing, we need smoothing constant and we need damping constant. So smoothing constant value will lie between 0 and 1. I am saying I am for now I am giving you the smoothing constant is 0.7. If in the question if the smoothing constant is given, we can find out damping constant as 1 minus your smoothing constant will be damping constant. So 1 minus 0.7 will give you your damping constant. What is damping constant here for this problem?
0.3.
Should be
0.3.
0.3. It is 1 minus your smoothing constant. 1 minus 0.7 is your damping constant. So to apply exponential smoothing, we need these two numbers. Once you get these two numbers, we can proceed with exponential smoothing. So how do you do exponential smoothing is? So if for this problem, my smoothing constant is 0.7, my damping constant is 0.3. Now like moving averages, we will create a column called as forecast column. Forecast column is what we will create. Now in the forecast column, the first value for the year 1991, the first forecast will be 8 only. Whatever you have, the actual demand, the same demand will be the forecast value for the first year. Okay? You are listening? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir, please repeat, sir. Please repeat.
See, we have to create a forecast column. Like what we did in moving average. Moving average also we have time, demand. We created a forecast column and filled it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Same thing we do in exponential smoothing also. Apart from your original data, your time and demand, we will create a column called forecast column. After creating the forecast column, to calculate the forecast values, the first year forecast will be the same as what you have in demand. First year forecast is same as what you have in demand. This is clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
For the second year, how do you calculate this? For the second year, the forecast value is like this. Your forecast value is your smoothing constant. What is your smoothing constant for this problem?
0.7.
Your smoothing constant 0.7 into the actual demand in that year. The year is 1992, actual demand is 9. Your smoothing constant into actual demand 0.7 into 9. You are listening?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Plus everything in brackets plus your damping constant. Your damping constant is how much for this problem? 0.3 into whatever is the forecasted demand the previous year. You are listening?
Yes, sir.
Your damping constant into your forecasted demand the previous year. Forecasted year 1992 previous year is 1991. Forecasted demand. This is forecasted demand. This is actual demand. This is forecasted demand. So your damping constant into your forecasted demand for the previous year. It should be how much? 8.
8.
So if you solve this, whatever you get value is the forecast for 1992. So I'm repeating again. How do you get the forecast value for 1992? For the first year 1991, the forecasted value is 8. Same as your actual demand. Actual demand, forecasted demand. For the second year, this is the formula. The formula is your smoothing constant. What is the smoothing constant for this problem? .7. I gave you the smoothing constant as 0.7. I gave you the
get 0.7, sir.
I took the weight. You know, weighted averages, you take the weight 1, 2, 3, 4. You can take some weight and multiply it with the average. I gave you the weight as 0.7. Okay. It depends on the data again. It depends on the data, like how you put in moving average. If there is seasonal effect, you have to take the season time period. But for now, because you are beginners, you can take any constant, but it should be between 0 and 1. Is this clear? You can take any your own value, but that value that you are taking should be between 0 and 1.
Sir, you have taken a gapping constant is 0.3, right?
I did not take. I only took smoothing constant as 0.7. You can take that. For example, you can take any value, smoothing constant, but it should lie between 0 and 1. Is this clear? Yes or no? You can take 0.5. You can take 0.5.
Sir,
if you are taking
sir, what is 0.3 over there, sir? What is 0.3?
Wait. If you take 0.5, what will be the damping constant? How did you get it? 1 minus 0.5, right? So your smoothing constant, whatever you take, 1 minus that will be your damping constant. Now, Syed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got this 0.7. How did I get 0.3? 0.3 is damping constant. 1 minus your smoothing constant is 0.3. Okay. 1 minus 0.7 is 0.3. You got it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, did you all finish calculating this 0.7 into 9 plus 0.3 into 8? What is the value? What is the value? You are very, very slow, my dear. See, if you be like this, I don't know how are you going to sit for the placements. These are all primary students, primary class. If you are not interested, it is okay. It's up to you. But it is all your career. Simple calculation, none of you, out of 30 students who are attending or 25 who are there now, when I'm explaining this, you are not able to finish off this calculation using your calculator, sitting at home. The same person who is answering only will answer. See, this is your reality. If a faculty keep on giving you a theory class, you will just keep on. You will just switch on your phone that you are attending, and you will do your own work. But when your reality will come here, you are asked to do some problem. You are not able to do anything. You are not doing anything because you are not like listening. You are just attending the class for the sake of attending. That's it. And on top of this, you start talking negative about the institute itself. You be perfect first. If you are perfect, then you talk about anyone else. You start pointing about negatives of others. You yourself are not perfect, and you start pointing about negatives. Start talking about negative about institute and others, which is not right. This is not the right way of going. Out of 26 students, a simple calculation to do this simple calculation, no one is doing. If a lecturer speaks on the other side, project a PPT in front of you, just keep on running the PPT. Your presence will be there. Your photo. That's it. See, if this is the attitude, how will you grow in your career? Tell me, students. If this is your attitude towards studies, you don't want to know anything new, you don't want to study, for the sake of attending, if you are attending, how will you progress in your career? See, unless and until you are perfect in whatever you are doing, you can never question others. When I'm saying questioning others, so many classes are happening from morning till evening. There is so much pressure on you. You are not able to question because you are not doing your things perfectly. That is why you are not able to ask anything, which is not at all right. You thought I'll continuously keep on giving you a lecture and I'll finish off my work and go. So this is not what is expected from the students. Never this is expected from the students. A simple calculation, 10th standard, 9th standard, 8th standard and 5th standard student will do 0.7 into 9 and 0.3 into 8, and you are not able to do that. If you are that lazy in a class, not able to do this, then where should we go? 26 students, the same people, I am seeing from the last 10 classes, the same people who are attending, same people who will answer. Only that 1 or 2. Why the others, why are you attending then? Why don't you shut down your cameras and sit? Why do you cheat yourself? Why are you cheating yourself? You are not cheating us. You are cheating yourself. So for the third one, if you go to the year 1993, what will be the value? How do you calculate the forecast for 1993? It should be your smoothing constant. What is the smoothing constant? Smoothing constant is, it is 0.7. 0.7 into the actual demand in that year. What is the actual demand in that year?
8.
8.
So it is 8. So this is one part plus your damping constant. For this problem, the damping constant is 0.3 into your forecasted demand the previous year. The previous year is this. Previous year for 93 is 92. So 92, what is the forecasted demand? 92. The forecasted demand for the previous year. So this is 93 forecasted demand. Previous year is 92. 92, what is the forecasted demand you got? 10.5. So that is the value you should take here. Okay. So if you solve this, you will get some demand value. So 0.7 into 8 plus 0.3 into 10.5. So tell me what is the value you got? It is 8.75. Others should verify if it is right. Let us know if it is wrong. So that is the forecasted value for the year 1993. The same process should be followed for the next years also. So for the year 1994, what is the forecasted value? What is the forecasted value? It should be 0.7 into 9, which is your smoothing constant into demand, actual demand in that particular year, plus your damping constant. It's called as damping constant, 0.3 into your forecasted demand the previous year. Forecasted demand the previous year is 8.75. So if you do this, you will get something. So in the same way, you can, what is the demand here for the year 94? This is 8.925. And for the last year, what is the demand? 95. It should be 0.7 into 16 plus 0.3 into forecasted demand the previous year.
8.925.
925. Okay, I rounded it off to the 2 decimals. So this is how we calculate. This is how we calculate the forecasted demand for the using exponential smoothing method. Now, whatever demand, forecasted demand that you got for this 5th year, whatever forecasted demand that you got for 1995, this is considered to be the forecast for 1996. Here, you are seeing demand. This is what we are supposed to forecast. Yes or no? The question mark where I put. Now, this demand will become 13.88. This is the forecasted demand using exponential smoothing method. You got it? Yes or no? So calculate it for the first 5 years. Whatever demand you get for the forecasted demand you get for the 5th year, this is considered to be the forecasted demand for the 6th year.
Sir, how we know that we can use which method? Moving average method or exponential smoothing?
Okay, I'll tell you. See, in both the methods, we can actually get the forecast value. But when you are calculating the forecast value, there is also something called as forecast error. These are all future values. Whatever I did here is future value. This 13.8 is future value. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this future value, when you calculate, you can actually do both the methods, moving average method and exponential distribution method, and find out the future value. Let me say, for example, For example, this is smoothing method, exponential smoothing method. The forecasted value for 1996 is 13.88. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And let me say, for the same problem, I also did moving average method. How much did you get earlier? You already did this problem.
12.5.
How much?
12.5.
We got it as 12.5. Yes or no?
Yes,
Others
sir.
are not listening. Students who are listening. So in moving average method, I got 12.5 as the forecast. In exponential distribution, in exponential smoothing method, I got the forecast as 13.88. Which one should I take as a manager? Which one should I take? Now, for deciding which one is good, which one is a good forecast, to decide which one is a good forecast, I should calculate something called as forecast error. I should calculate something called as forecast error. Are you all listening?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I am just dusting off this everything. For the same problem, can you give me the values that you calculated here? For 1992, what is the forecasted demand? Forecasted demand. Forecasted demand for 1992.
10.5.
It is 10.5. Whoever has written.
Sir,
For
8.75. 8.75.
8.75.
8.92.
8.92.
13.88.
13.88. This is the forecast for 6th year. Okay. Same thing we also had for moving average. For moving or average also we have actual demand, we have forecast. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How do we calculate forecast error? How do we calculate forecast error is, you should take another column here called as actual demand minus forecasted demand. What is actual demand for me? For the year 1991, actual demand is 8, forecasted demand is 8. Difference between these two is 0. Am I right? Yes. Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This process we have to follow for everything. So 9, actual demand is 9 for the year 1992, forecasted demand is 10.5. The difference between them is what? Minus 1.5. So this process we have to follow till 1995. Okay. We'll do it for all the years. Okay. Understood what is this column? Actual demand minus forecasted demand. We should have one more column which says actual demand minus forecasted demand square. So whatever value you get here, you square it. That will be the value. Let's see, 1.5, which is negative, it becomes okay. You understood this one? Actual demand minus forecast. Actual demand minus forecast demand. Are you all understanding? Now,
Yes,
once you get
Recording in progress.
Same, only
Yes, sir.
numbers, that's it. But I told you what you are supposed to do. Now, this 15.25 is called the forecast error for this problem using exponential smoothing method. This is called 15.25 is called as forecast error. Actual demand minus forecasted demand, whatever you did, this 15.25 is called as forecast error. Did you get what is this? What is this? You are understanding? Yes or no? You tell me if you did not understand, I'll repeat.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, we have to calculate forecast error for moving average method also. Moving average method also, you have actual demand, you have forecasted demand. Your actual demand minus forecasted demand, you will have one column. Actual demand minus forecasted demand square, you will get one column. Using moving average method also, you will get some error. Yes or no? Forecast error. Will you get?
Sir, this value is
Yes, sir.
error. 15.25.
Yeah, 15.25 is error. Error. It's called as forecast error. Okay.
Okay. So how we choose?
I'm saying, wait, I did not complete. So this is 15.25 is for exponential smoothing method. Same process we follow for moving average. Okay. For moving average also we'll calculate forecast error. A method which has less forecast error is considered to be the best forecast. You got it? Yes.
How, sir?
A method which has less forecast error is considered to be the best forecast.
Yes, sir. Understand.
A method, this 15.25 is the forecast error using exponential smoothing method. I got, using moving average method, I got a forecast error of, let me say, 12.2. So moving average method, this is the forecast error. Exponential smoothing method, this is the forecast error. In both the methods, I found out the forecast. One is saying 13.8, the other one is saying 12.5. Now, which forecast is best for me? Once you calculate forecast error, the method which is giving me less forecast error is best. 15 and 12 is less forecast error. So moving average method is correct for. You understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Others? So these are the two ways.
Yes,
These are the two ways of finding forecast using moving average method and exponential smoothing method. You have any doubt, you can ask. There is one more method called as
But how we calculate, sir, the same which I calculate now error in by average method?
Okay, how much will you get?
We have to minus. How we can minus in first year, 1991?
It should be the same. Same.
It should be the same, sir.
Yeah, actual demand is 13. This also should be 13. Yes, same. For both the methods, actual demand and forecasted demand will be same.
Okay, sir.
Yes. This is forecast for the same data using moving average method. We did it before. Before we did it, no, we did moving average method. Forecast is 12.5 for 1996 year. That is what I wrote here. So moving average method forecast is 12.5. Exponential smoothing method forecast is 13.88. Out of these two forecasts, which one is best? For finding out which one is best, you should calculate forecast error. To calculate forecast error, I told you the procedure. A method which has less forecast error is considered to be best forecast. You got it? .2. Yes. Which one is less? That method is giving you best forecast. Yes. See, there is also one more method for actually forecasting, which is better than all these methods. There is one more method. Using that method, actually that method is used not only in forecasting, in time series, it is used in many other applications, in market research, in production, in so many methods, in so many functional areas that method is used, which I'll tell you in the evening class. We have a class at 4:30 today. We'll meet them.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Have you all heard about regression? Have you all heard about regression? How many of you know what is a regression? Correlation and regression. Correlation, regression. Okay. So regression is another method. Regression is another method also called as least square method. Regression is also another method to calculate the forecast. It is also called as least square method. So how can we do the forecast using least square method is what we'll discuss in the evening class. You have any doubt in the class now, you can ask. Or else, before coming to the class in the evening, I want you to solve this problem, and all of you who are solving the problem only, please attend. Otherwise, don't attend. There is no point in attending. It is waste of your time and you are cheating yourself. Take down the problem. The demand data of the company is given as. Are you taking it down? Yes.